G'day, how you going? Ian Apples here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my channel where I like to teach you beginners and advanced beginners what you can paint in acrylic, alright? Now this is a different video. I want to show you what you can do from a reference to your canvas. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing the reference throughout, just how to get the colour changing from the reference onto your canvas. You can see the size of my canvas that I'm using, and also the colors are going up the screen. And I also want to show you some color charts that I've made in the past. They've been featured in previous videos and they're a good thing to make, so when you do have a reference you can match some colors close as possible. Okay, don't be too bothered if you can't get it exact, because an art journey is a journey and we're learning as we go through that journey. So come on over here and let's get right on with this fun, all right? So first things first, there's the reference I choose to use. You can use any wave. This is going to be the sand, the turmoil in the water there, the wave, the seamless throughing of the wave, and the distance water and our sky. Now, I'm going to show you the color charts that I've made on my easel, because see, like we've got some dirty sand in there. You need to look at your reference and study it for a while, okay? Like you're studying for an exam. We've got all this sand here, the turmoil here, and then we've got the water slowly getting dirty and becoming clean, and before the whitewash. So you need to look at all these and work out what colours you can get. Now I've been painting for a bit, so I've sort of got an idea what colours I like to use. So here's my colour charts, and I've got the watery colours, which is here, all over the place on different charts that I've made, okay? And what I've done, I've got permanent alizarin and yellow ochre there together, and when I mixed them to a degree I got this colour. And then I've got added BK here. I added black to that and got this vibe. I added white to that and got this vibe here, and so on. I know the method I used to mix in this because I made it, and the same here. These two colours made that, adding the white made that, so on and so on. We've got the two colours here and adding the white, so on and so on. And I can lay this against the reference picture and work out roughly what colours I need to get organised. Now back to the reference. If you're just starting out or you're a beginner, a painting, a picture like this can be intimidating, but I want you to know, when you can see through the intimidation, it ain't that hard. You can do it. See all this white here, here, and here, and bits on there, and there's even bits out here. That is what's giving the bullshit effect and all that detail. What I'm going to do in this tutorial is to show you how to get this color merging into this color and merging into this dirty color here, then the green color, and then the different greens and blues here. After I've done the sky, I'll probably mask it up and come down and do that. Now I've gone and, just because I'm using that picture, I've gone and put my horizon line in. I've got the top of the wave area, the bottom of the wave area where that starts to curl up, and then where the whitewash area where it's going to start meeting the sand. That's just the areas. It's not going to be exact. You'll see how I approach it throughout this tutorial. So what I want to do now is I'll get my sky done. This is all acrylic. I only paint in acrylic. If you like what you're seeing, give me a share, like and subscribe. The sky. Now I'm going to make this simple, easy and effective, like a 5-year-old can do it. It is easy, and when you know what to do, you just realise, my goodness, it is easy. But if you don't know what to do, you can be mistaken to think it's hard. I've got me French ultramarine and I've got me white, soft body white. I've got a thicker white here for the clouds. Now this is going to be the sky, but watch just how we can make a decent sky. I'm going to load my brush up. I'm just using a small brush because I've only got a small canvas. Now I want to start mixing a very pale French ultramarine just for the bottom half of the canvas, okay? Now I want to come across the bottom, pushing it on my canvas. I'm using a good canvas. The better quality products you use, the better paintings you get as well. Now I'm going to just get that, massage it in till I'm happy with the vibe of it. It's all about your journey, how you love the vibe of it all. Okay, I'm just letting it come up to nothing there. That bottom half is what I want. You can do that. Now, some more French, going a bit darker. So we're going to leave that puddle there and we're going to come over this side. Turning the brush around, because I'm brush mixing, I want to make sure it's mixed within the brush. I've got my next colour to gradient into that. So I'll come across here Now this is still wet. I've put nothing on my canvas, nothing at all. It's all out of the tube, everything's neat. Now I'm getting it out of the brush like this onto the canvas. And now I want to use the brush, it's not very loaded, and just crisscross it and merge those two colours together in a roundabout way. All the way across. If I need to bring some of the lighter colour back down to the bottom, by all means go back there. All right. Which I might have to do later just to show you as an example. Okay, I've got some phthalo blue here. I want to get that with a bit of white as well. It's a bit too strong. Just to change the top value of the blue coming over our head area. And you can see the value I'm trying to mix for the top of my sky just to get it a bit more oceany vibe up there. We're right up here, get it right up there. Get it right off the brush. Now this is very easy, you can do it. I want you to know that you can do everything that I can do with practice. Okay, there we go, we got it there. It looks a bit hard. I just wiped the build up off the paintbrush. Now I want to just gradiate that together with the lower colour. Just crisscrossing it in, everything's still wet. Don't take all day doing this because if it dries on you, it's not going to work like this and you'll be wondering why isn't it working for me, and it's all because...
Yeah, it's all because you didn't listen.
That's right. Okay, I've got that there. I'm happy with that sky. Now, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but I've got some kind of red colour there just from the way the French ultramarine worked, which is a good colour to have in your skies. Okay, I'm happy with that. I've got lighter colour way down here. I'm going to put some clouds into this now, so it's a little bit rubbery and still wet. It's not a big footprint, I can get some clouds in there. Now regardless what brushes you got, my method for a cloud is something to pick up the white paint and to put onto the canvas, and something to sit it down, scrumble it in and tickle the tops of it all, okay? So we're just gonna grab my pure white. Now I don't want massive big clouds, so I wanna try and get some of this linear. I'll sit it onto there. I'll try and keep the top of it dark. And I'm just going to come along. Now what I'm doing, I'm stamping it on, because if I draw it on, it's going to go real pale and going to get a bit difficult to do. So I better do a little bit at a time first, because I don't have retarder in that. Normally I use retarder. And now I want to get my brush and just kind of dance it on with the corner of the brush and sit down the oobly bits you don't like and bring it into your sky. Do a bit of manipulating like so. And when we layer the clouds up, it just makes it look more realistic. So when someone's looking at it, they know it's a cloud, and it's not only just a cloud, it's a cloud full of bullshit and yumminess. So I'm just kind of going for just some high lineal ones here, breaking it down. And the paint underneath is doing all the blending and the value changes within my cloud. There's one there. I'll probably come across here. This brush, I could have used a flat one. Actually, I'm using a filbert brush because see, I want something long there. Come over here, keeping the top of it, and then blending that down. And the whites are coming kind of blue-white. Now, why I'm doing clouds like this, it's similar to what's in the reference. And when I use a reference, that's all I use it for. I'm not trying to make the thing damn exact. It's just referencing what I can do. So I've got a flat brush now. What I want to do is come in front of that there, beautiful. Turn it around so I can do this one as well. And then kind of make sheafy kind of clouds like this, because that's similar to what's in the reference. I'll show you the reference so you get an idea of just what the guru's on about. Same again. I need to wipe my little blending brush, because if you don't, you're just going to make your blending blobby and mashy. You need it to be wiped out so you can create all this left and right with the movement as well. Now this blue is going to give this value a cloud. If I took some clouds down into this different colour, they will change as well. And if you get familiar with cloud layouts, the way they're sprawled out across the sky so they look like they're coming over your head, you'll be doing a lot better job of your cloud formations. So nice and long here. something there. I mean, I try and change my clouds up in most of my tutorials. I'll get to something here and I can blend down later. Wiping my brush. I want to get some of this faded a bit more first, just so it's not looking too, and then come along here. Wipe my brush because it's building up a lot of paint. And you can see this paint is still a little bit rubbery and damp, which is great for what I'm trying to do here. Now this blue here, where we've changed from the phthalo blue and it's getting blended into the French, it's going to start giving a different vibe. There's a lot of smoky stuff there, so I'll do that. I'll bring that down to there. I'll try and get just some other little, look at that, just like that, just so as I can get something vibing along here. Right off the painting, come right off the painting, it's important. And just something here to vibe that up like so. And that's controlling a cloud. So many ways you can paint clouds, but then again there's so many ways you can paint clouds to get them looking quite realistic as well. So there's our reference sky. We've got a representation of these long clouds. You can see they've just got the pulling and the lightness within them there, but going left and right across the canvas. And that's pretty much what I've done here. I mean, some of it can still be manipulated if I want, but I'll leave it at that. Now that's had to dry. I'm just going to grab some masking tape and put on my horizon line, which needs to be reasonably straight, so we'll get that right there. Okay, I can push it. It's a low tacking tape. I've dried it pretty well, so it's not going to rip my paint off when I pull it off. All right. Practice what products are going to work for you and how they work. It's all part of your art journey. It's not just canvas and paint and brushes. There's a lot more that's involved with it. And the more you understand that, the more professional you become in your own lunchbox, okay? Now, I've got the top of the wave here, as you can see here. Okay, so I've masked it up. Now see, from that masking up line to the top of this wave, I want to get that water in there. And it's going from a French to a turquoise to about here. So within getting my watercolors ready, water is cool. Sunset skies are warm, like a fire or a heater. Water is cold, blue, green. It's cool colors. So I'm going to grab me cool colors, which I have down here. So I've got the French and I've got the phthalo blue and I've even got a turquoise here. Now, as a lot of you know, you get cadmium yellow and you'll notice there's a light and a medium, okay? If you just look at the two here, this one looks a bit more warmer than that one, which is exactly, it's a warm yellow and the light is a cool color. So because the water, in my opinion, is cool, I'm going to mix my turquoise to get that yellowy green color with the cadmium yellow light because it's a cool color, not with the medium, not with the cadmium yellow medium. So I'll put some of this onto my palette with all the other colors I've got going there, and I can start painting in the water from here to the top of my wave, okay? I'm going to just use a flat brush. So I want to start off with the French and I'll mix up with a bit of turquoise there just to get my very darkest colour way out there. Now I will ink it up a bit, meaning I'll just wet my brush. So we've got a bit of water there. Now I've only got a small area from here to the top of my wave, so I've got to be, this is only going to go down about that far, or this colour. So I'll get it on and I'll push it into the canvas. And it's all iffity-affity at the moment. Like, look, I'll get it to where I want it. I want it about there. That's about where I want this colour. Now I want to try and get the top against the tape dark, so I'll stamp it on like so. I've got no white on my board, on my canvas. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I'll stroke it. I'll waterfy. I call that waterfying it because it makes it look more watery. So I've washed my brush and I'm grabbing the phthalo turquoise. It's a turquoise colour, and if I need to lighten this up, I just add white. This can pretty much come all the way to the top of the wave now. So look at this. This is pretty pretty dark. I'm going to grab some of the white and get it the vibe we want. There we go, look at that. Just turn the lights on real easy. Now watch this side. That's better. See that to that? That looked more, this colour I'm putting on now is more opaque, meaning it's more dense, solid. I'll get it to there. Okay, to that bit there. It looks very harsh at the moment. And now I'm going to get it to where my wave roughly is. Just jingle jangle it in a bit beyond, doesn't matter. Brush it and waterfy your brush strokes. Okay, that's good enough. Now I'll just merge it together into that darker blue, just like so. The darker blue is still wet, and this one is obviously wet, and they're going to marry a bit. I can come right up there, play with it. Right across now, right across. And we have a darker value way out in the deep of the ocean, and it's getting a bit brighter. What I might do, I will see just a tiniest bit of yellow. Just the tiniest bit. I don't want it to clash with the wave. And a bit of white. A bit more white. And a bit of this French. I'm looking at the reference just to get real colours in there. Just a bit more French. And I'm looking just about here. So what I do, I'll stamp this on. Look, stamp it on where I want it because I can control it. Watch this, it's so easy. Okay. Stamping it on. There we go. Leaving lots of the green in there as well. I'll grab my kitchen cloth and I'll wipe it. And then I'll simply waterfy that as well. So coming right across the canvas, and watch those lines waterfy in. They're subtle, they're there. It's not just one blobbed colour, it's got charisma. Now I'm getting the white mixed with that because I don't want it pure white. It's going to look white on the canvas, but I'm tainting it with that phthalo turquoise. Now that paint we just put on there, we need to just highlight that with the light hitting it, hitting the top peaks of the water. So we can come along trying to get it looking peaky. There we go. I found me go. This is it. Sometimes it takes a bit, and then you start going for it. You know your rhythm. You lay your way to get it all going. See, they're too heavy, so I'm going to come back and get a lot of it off my brush over the water here. And then when enough of it's off my brush, I'll go back over them and kind of blend them down. Okay, so I'll wipe that off the brush, just up there. And these heavy ones, there we go, look at that, just killing the vibrancy of them down a bit. See how easy that is? Now, if you're new here, or even you're a regular viewer, say hello to me in the comments. I'll say hello back to you. Tell me where you're from even.
Can we watch you pull that masking tape off, Ian?
Yeah, all right. So we'll get this masking tape off. Hopefully we haven't got a ridge there, so I'll just pull this off. Okay. Now, we've got our sky, we've got our background water, which is here, our sky, and our background water to the top of the wave. Now, watch this next bit. I'm going to paint this turquoise, okay? And then I want to add the dirty colour here, and then start adding all this colour into the bottom before we put the white on top. So I've got my colours ready for the sand, dioxazine purple, yellow ochre. I've got some burnt umber and my titanium white again, and I've also got the wave colour here, the turquoise and the cad yellow light. So I will grab a knife, just so as I'm not destroying brushes all the time. I want to get some of this colour mixed over here with the dioxazine purple. So this is going to be the dirty colour. Get some more of that. This is going to be the dirty colour in the whitewash before it's hitting the sand. So you got the sand, then the dirty whitewash, and then the wave. The sand, the dirty whitewash, and then the wave. So I'm just feeling this colour can give it a bit of a realistic shadowy vibe tone to it. Now I'm thinking, where is that yellow ochre? I'm going to use some of the yellow ochre for the sand in the front, the very bottom of the painting. But I'll see how that'll go. I've never mixed that with burnt umber before, so let's just see what that does. And then the white to give it the lighter colour that I need, or maybe this yellow ochre will give it the white colour that you need. I'm just mixing this while I'm staring at the reference, getting a value of that sand there, and that's looking quite okay. A little bit more of this. I'm not sure how the camera was picking that up. I'll put a bit of white in a corner bit over here just to see how it's going to look. Just over this side here. Now that's looking all right. So I'm just going to grab my squirty bottle. It's acrylic. So I'll give that a bit of a mist so it's not going to skin up. I don't want any of that to skin up in case I need it. There we go. Now we've got the sand colour, I've got the phthalo blue and the cadmium yellow light. We're going to mix the wave colour. So we'll get that in there. And we'll add some white into that. This is going to be the pale green part of the wave. Now I want to grab some of this because there is a little bit in the wave right about here that's got the yellow tinges in it and then some brown. And I know that from studying the reference. So I want to grab the yellow ochre. Oh, that's far too much paint there. I didn't need that much, but that'll do. So this bit here, not the yellow ochre, the cadmium yellow light, this is going to have, if you look at that colour to this colour, you can see what's happening. Okay, so I've got everything. Once I start painting it on, I can just block it in and then we'll bring the detail over the top of it all. So I'm going to start at the bottom with the sand. So I'm going to pick this up in my flat brush. I'm just going to use a flat brush. Everything's mixed, ready to go. Watch how easy this is and just realise you can do it. So on the picture there, this is all this colour from about here. So I'm just going to block it in to there, block it in. Lock it in. Now I'll brush stroke it so it's the way I want. There we go. Now I just penciled these lines in roughly from the reference, and it'll work. It doesn't have to be exact to the reference because, like I said before, the reference is just giving you a reference where you can put your lines and colours. Okay, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at it. I'm just going to stab some burnt umber on my brush just to see, getting some dark bits here and then merge those together. I'll wipe that brush on my kitchen cloth. I'll just get that. Now if you have you can even sprinkle or flick bits to make your sand colour as well. I'm just showing you this for the tutorial's sake because I don't want this tutorial to go for hours. Now we'll go to the next colour, which is this dirty bit of the water. So I've done this bit. I want to continue so I can scrumble them together, so to speak. So before I do that, I do want to give some of this just a bit past my line. I'll put that line right out there so I know where my area is to join them. There we go. I'm going to just wipe the brush, pick up this dioxine purple yellow ochre vibe that we mixed. And I want to get this colour just to about, I'm looking there somewhere around here. The wave's going to come around, so it's not in a line there. I've just got the line there to the area. And mainly across here to there. Okay, so now I'm going to keep loading the brush up, get it to that colour. Make sure it's quite reasonable in the amount you've got on there. Okay. Find your brush, how it's working for you. Now I'm going to get it to there. Okay, I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. Now it's quite thick, so I will like to iron it out a bit so when I'm adding the white, it's not going to be labouring. Now I want to merge, I'll just wipe the brush on my kitchen cloth a bit, And I want to merge that. There's my line there. So this colour's gone a bit higher than it intended to, so I can bring this down to it. And then we're going to bring this to our sand colour. Now I need a little bit more because where the water is actually, the froth is actually hitting the sand, we're going to need some shadow under there, and this colour would be the shadow as well for that. So I'm just playing with this now. It's very wet. You can dry it a bit, make it rubbery. There we go, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to pick up this colour here. I need a bit of water in it, so I'll put my brush in the hydrated water there. And I'm going to block in the wave area now. Now just watch. See all this turquoisey colour here? Look how detailed it is in that reference picture. But over here, it's not going to be detailed. We're just going to block it in. What I'm going to do is right against my tape there. I'll get that sorted first. There we go. And you'll be amazed just how easy. Now this is the top of the wave there, so it's sort of wavy up and down like so. Block it in. Now the top of this, you don't want to scrumble into that because that's behind the ledge of the wave. Now we'll get this on. Now this paint, I've got to keep playing with it till it's the right value. It could be a bit dark or it could be a bit light. You need to get the right value. So we're going to get this to that dirty colour there. Turn my brush around. I don't want to bring that dirty colour into this yet because I'm not ready for it. So look how blocked in and weird that looks, but you watch the way we get the detail in it later. Now I'm just looking at that colour and I can see I need a little bit of white throughout this colour. So I want to grab some of the white now and just put over here so I get a lot lighter value of this. Somewhere, so pretty much, I'm not going to overcomplicate it, it's pretty much here, right in the guts of it. I'm stamping it on like this because that wave's pretty wet, but it's thin and even, it's all the one even coat. So this is coming along here, because this is going to be the actual back arch in the back of the tube of the wave, like this. I mean, this is still blocking in, we're not detailing it yet. Once we detail it, I want the top a lot darker, so see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of, there we go. Now if you feel yours is too wet, this is quite wet, but I can control it. You dry it a bit so it's rubbery. Not 100% dry, but it's dry enough so it's not going to be too uncontrollable for you to merge colours together. I'm just getting a bit more light there because I feel I don't have enough in there. There we go, look at that. I'm happy with that. So we've got the darker vibe and the lighter vibe in the middle. All right, now we're picking up this yellowy colour one that we mixed with the cadmium yellow light. And we want that down the bottom of the wave where I noticed it in the reference where I've showed it out to you before. And it's quite prominent around this vibe here, so I'll get it pushed in there. Now I'm feeling my paint. I'm going to dry it a little bit, not too much. Okay, I've dried just this bit here because watch, it'll sit, now look at that, it's sitting on there the way it should do. And I want some of this just fading into that lighter colour there, the way it is in the wave. Look at this, how easy it is. I'm just blocking it in, blocking it in. Mainly here and over here. We've got a more dirty bit there, but I'll fix that up later. Okay, now that's quite thick here and there, so what I'm going to do is just wipe it into my kitchen towel and then sit that into the wave, so to speak. Okay, now this wave where it's meeting the sand now, we want to kind of marry that. So picking up this colour again, just a little bit, we're slowly going to merge it into our wave there and get some of this dirty sand pushing up into that yellow colour as well. So I'm coming from there. Wipe your brush if you have to so you can scrumble it into that yellowy green colour vibe. See there, scrumbling it in, letting it... When we put the white detail on top of this, it's going to hide all the iffity-affity bits. Okay. So we're going like this. And the more you practice and paint waves like this, the more you'll realise just how fun they are to do, how easy they are to do, and knowing you can do it makes the process so much more interesting. So you can see what I've done there, bringing some of this greeny bit, letting it mix with that yellowy green, because some of that, I'll pull some off the palette, some of that colour needs to kind of laden in here as well. And if it's too loud, I'll just show you in a minute. I can see I need some more about here somewhere, just like that. You're playing with the layers of colours. Now see that, how it's a bit loud. I'll pick up that other colour again and then kind of sit it down so we've got the vibe of that green there, okay? Now look how blocked in this is. It looks quite, what's going on there type of vibe, but when we put the white over it, that's where the magic happens, the bullshit. Now this colour here, I've just tossed in a little bit more purple, dioxazine purple. Looking at the reference, because I'm using a reference, I can see there's a nice darker shadow here somewhere. So I want to kind of get that in there and scrumble it in. I might have to dry my canvas a bit more. There's a bit right here, a nice dark vibe here where the wave's hitting it, and it's going to need that dark to allow the whites to work. I feel the white might hit the sand. I don't know if I should be doing this or not. I'll just try a little bit of it. Wipe that off there, and I want to scrumble that in. I don't want it too heavy. And see if I've done too much there, like I feel I have just there as an example. I'll grab that other colour and set it down again. See, just backwards and forwards like a mad scientist, getting things done. Just sort of getting that colour where the white's going to sit on the top of it. Get some of that other colour there, just to soften some of that back. There we go, I'm happy with that. Now I'm looking at the reference. I've got the turquoise, the whiter colour, the yellowy colour. I'm grabbing the lighter colour with the white in it, and now what I'm doing is simply looking at the reference and really finding out where there may be a little bit more vibrant, lighter turquoise there. So I'll get it on there, wipe the brush and scrumble it in. Now that's a bit too white, so I need to add more. There we go, just to get rid of the loudness. There's a white glare there that's going to make sense to the shape of the wave that I know I'm going to paint, and we can get some of this a lot more in here. It's lost a lot of the vibrancy, so I'll try and get some of that back right across the middle of the wave. That's it. Up here, yeah. I mean, this is a greeny white, but it looks brighter in the camera. So I'm picking up the yellowy green vibe colour and looking. We need a little bit more sort of tracing up the wave now, so we'll get some of this kind of happening like that. You know, the sweeping bit coming from there, and just trying to find the brighter values of this coming up within the wave. Sit them down there a bit. Don't be too paranoid, because a lot of our white, when we put on the top of this, is really going to make all the wonderful stuff happen, the magic happen. It's fantastic. Okay, I don't like this. I just need to, maybe a little bit of yellow reflecting there. Just a little bit. It'll make sense when the white's on. Now it's up to you. I've got to play with this because this is the way my brush strokes landed on my canvas. Yours are going to land on yours different, so you might find you've got to do this as well, or you do not have to do this. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean you've got to be doing this exact stroke that I'm doing. I'm doing this just to adjust the vibe of that yellow with that whitish colour there. Now we've done our colours, the green, the whitish turquoise and the turquoise. We're going to grab the white. Now this white needs that vibe mixed with it. Now we're going to do all this foam and froth on top of here to get all this done. So I'll start with this bit first. I want to get the white. Now use a firm brush. You want a firm brush, not a lazy floppy brush. and I'm using a little small flat type of brush. And in here I just want to get the type of I can see a line there, so I want to get that there because it makes sense. The kind of white intense froth on here. So I'm using this brush because I can do a lot of little dots with it. It's a bit like a deerfoot brush, I suppose. Now I'm going to gradually add white to get the vibe going that I feel I need. So now this will sit on top of that bit. And just here and there. Now I've just got the purest white on there. Like this ridge, I want it to stand out. So I'll get something there. Just look at your reference, see what needs standing out, certain bits, probably some scattered bits here, but not too much. I don't think there's much in this part here. I won't overdo it, complicate it, won't overcomplicate it. Now I'm grabbing this white with this dirty colour mixed with it. Don't put too much with it, otherwise you'll be forever and a day adding white to it again. See, I put too much there, but that'll do. Now I'm looking at the froth. I'll start this bit here. I want it really too much on my brush, I feel. I'll wipe a lot of that off. See that dark bit? I'm trying to keep it there, coming over it so it looks like that dark bit's underneath it. And then these bits here, we will just wish and wash. Lots of big thick white bits here, but there's gaps of shadow as well. And then as we get up to this bit, they're going to start getting thinner and more detailed. But all this thick bit here, it's very, very thick and dense. So I'll go to about there. That'll be the height we'll go with this thickness of it. So I've got a gap there. I can make a gap there where all these dark bits are. I need to keep looking in my monitor as well, so excuse me from moving my head a bit. And we've got lots of choppy bits. And like I said, I might have to come back later and add extra dark bits if I feel I've lost too much. That's really coming across here. So if anything, you can tell there's a line of heavier dense water, froth and foam here. Leaving a lot of that green. Oh yeah, look at that. I've got the pure white, but I've just got the slightest bit of that previous tint in it. So it's not 100% pure white, but it's pretty close to it. And I want to get the face of this now very highlighted all the way down, scattering it. Give your job a dry if you need to, because you don't want the highlights just mudding up within your work. You want to be able to see your highlighted stuff. See that dirty white and this white, it's all different values. It's adding the depth. Look at the way the lines are laying in your reference and try and mimic that. I'm joining them like crosses and X's and stuff. So I just looked at the reference and I was working out whether to do the top bit or this bit of the white first. I'm going to do this bit first because that's behind the stuff that's going to come over the top. So I want to start detailing this with the white up to about there. Then I'll bring the top bit coming over instead of the opposite way around. So we've got that yellowy bit. Now we will grab our white over here. Now it should look white on the painting. Yes, it does. And like I said, now we're going to start lacing this. Where are we? I don't want to get, like I said, it's just sort of coming up. I need to chisel my brush a bit. Don't want it too thick. Coming from this white. Come right up there, don't be shy to go up to there too much. Stuff there. I've got to leave that dark bit now. I'll show you why, because I've got a nice big white bit of the wave that's going to smash on that and create the depth. Now we've got a lot of nice, beautiful, frothy stuff here coming there. I've never done I've done many waves. Type in the search bar on the YouTube channel, Ionopolis wave, and it'll bring up all my wave videos. Leaving some of the green there, but when I put the white on this, it's really going to make this bit look the way it's supposed to look, similar to the, where are we, to the photo. And then you won't be looking at a painting wondering, well, what's that bit there? Why is that looking like that? You'll know what it is because you've studied it and you practiced. There's a lot of this just thick agitation right here for now. So I'm grabbing the pure white on a script liner, kind of working out where it's coming from, and then I want to come up here on the bits of this where I feel it needs the extra white. And I'm using the script liner because I can get those veins a bit more believable. Make sure you twist your brush. It's very inky to the degree where it's not going to be see-through. And this is just going to detail all this up here. See how this is, hopefully the camera picks it up. This white is standing out over that dirty white. Just make sure you get them everywhere they need to be. Just little ones, like this. Is my camera picking that up? No, it can't yet. There's a lot of little ones there. So they're in the photo. I want to reference them in my painting as well, so it will make sense. And they're kind of long bits. And you can see having all those dark colours under here, we've made depth and detail within a pretty simple wave to paint. And the more you advance in your art journey, the more you evolve and do a lot more different achievable work. This tainted white we put here, we're going to start getting that more vibrant as well, leaving a lot of that paler white there, the greeny white. I'll do that bit when I do the top part of the wave. Okay, over this side now, so I'm grabbing the green or white again, leaving that dark there because there's a lot of wave. Just, where are we? He's smashing around and coming up here. around there, up here. Okay, the waves kind of, yeah, look at that. I can start getting this the way I want. There's a little bit there just cutting off the painting. And I want this, see how scratchy now that is? That's good. This is mainly white, but this is the shaded white. So when we put pure white on, it'll look the part. Come off the painting there. And we're pretty much coming across the whole top here. Can we do that? Yes. So pretty much come across the top and then start shaping that the way we want, quite similar to the actual painting. So the reference. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting the wind, tossing it from that white. I'm kind of smearing that white into this colour. I'm not having it separated. And that's kind of, yeah, it's way up there. Some of it's way up here. And this bit here needs to start coming down a little bit there. Getting the shape of this bit now where it's meeting the green. And coming along. Flicking it. This is a good brush to do this, I feel. And we have some of it. See this white bit I put there? Made sense because this bit here is coming there. Get some of it coming down. That's the way it is in the reference picture there. And then the rest flicking up. Because when we add lots of pure white dots to this, it's going to make sense. And hopefully you will be flabbergasted in doing waves a lot more. I'm bringing some of this down here. The back bit there you could just see. So I want to reference that in there as well. There we go. Where are we? Yeah, nice big smashy wind bits there. And we have like a second layer within the, it's quite a, this green bit here that we put there, we've got some more white hitting that. It's quite a lively wave, this one. Okay, so we've got our pure white, and this is where we make the detail. So we've got a nice bright bit coming through there, getting hit by light all the way to the top of the wave. Droplets getting wind sprayed up into the air. And you can see all that tainted white, how it makes up the depth for this pure white. And where are we? We just got bits of light hitting bits and bobs in here. I've put the minimalist amount of dioxine purple in the white, just so as this is in shadow, this little bit here, and it's going to make sense because it makes sense in the reference picture, so I want to put it there as well. Just dabbing some shadow onto the brilliant white. Anywhere else I see? Yeah, I feel a little bit down here, not too much. The pure white, just to sit it down on this edge here where the shadow is not. There we go. And wherever else it was. All right, we'll just sign this and then I'll take the tape off to reveal it and see how she looks. And I want to thank everybody who supports my content and follows me on YouTube, Facebook. The members of my YouTube channel here and my patrons, thank you very much for your support as well. is much appreciated. There we go, we've used the reference and we've got quite a decent representation of that reference photo. You can still keep fine-tuning this as much as you want. I know with a bit of practice you can do it. Well, I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. I will leave the reference photo in the traceable link in the description below. So have a look at the description box below. There's a lot of links there. And if you like what I'm doing, you tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.